Assalamu alaikum and welcome everybody to season 5, episode 12 of Oz Media's Motivate Me 313's podcast. Today we are going to be talking about an important and a more serious conversation, and the title is Sudan's Hidden Horror, the RSF Massacre and Al-Fashir. Today our guests are to the right of me. We have a guest that we've had before, and that's Khadija Mohamed. Clap it up for Khadija.
Thank
Thank you so much for coming on as well. Again, Khadija, I think this is your second time, or
It
is
is.
the
It is
second
my
time?
yeah.
Of course, you got myself, Omar T. And then to the left of me, we have Dr. Abdulla Hafeez. He's in the building as well. And so we made sure we had to have a conversation about this. I mean, not that this hasn't been going on for years now. It's just, the massacre is starting to get a lot worse. And I feel like raising awareness about this topic is an important one, which is why we reached out to Khadija. And Khadija said she'll come on, and she also reached out to Dr. Abdullah. So we appreciate you guys both for coming on here today and having this important conversation. Before we start the discussion, be sure to follow us on all of our socials. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts, all under Oz Media. You can find all those platforms on our website at ozmedia313.com. Shout out to the sponsors of the show: Juicebox, Holy Bowly, Wingfellas, Bates and Mocha, Chillbox, Malika Kebab, Hanley International Academy, The Family Doc, GEE Preparatory Academy, and Royal Kebab. Yusuf, let's start off with our good friends over there at Malika Kebab, and then we'll get the show rolling. Shout out to Malik El Kebab. Malika Kebab has become noted as one of the best Middle Eastern restaurants in the Metro Detroit area. The restaurant has become a popular destination for visitors and is always full of satisfied locals who are proud to invite their guests to taste real Middle Eastern food. With options like shish platters, shawarma plates, shawarma sandwiches, lamb chops, fattoush, and tabbouleh salads, you can never go wrong when you choose to eat at Malika Kebab. They currently have 3 locations: West Dearborn, Taylor, and Trenton. Be sure to stop by Malika Kebab to satisfy all of your Middle Eastern cravings. You can also visit them at their website, malikkebab.com. All right, so with that said, basically you guys left off with kind of giving us an update of what happened and what's been going on. And so going from there, how did RSF gain so much military power, in South, or just in general, and I guess in Sudan in general? Like how, like how? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. It's. I mean, for me, even personally, when people did, see me at the hospital, alhamdulillah, a big community here, Arab and Muslim and different, even American people. Of course, when they ask me this question, it's very complex. It's for people to imagine or to, trying to understand what's happening in Sudan is very difficult because, obviously everywhere else, who's your enemy and who's fighting against who. Sudan is our own people fighting against each other. And even when you see the videos or see images, like everybody's saying Allahu Akbar, like fighting each other, everybody's killing each other. It's very difficult to even to understand. But subhanAllah, we it's part of the fitna, everywhere that, it's happening. But in Sudan, it's very complex. Like we have like thousands of tribes, there is thousands of local languages, and the complexity in the west side of Sudan is very, very unique in a way that there's more like tribes that are a little bit like more African roots. There is more tribe that more Arabic roots. There's a tribe in between. There were people like they were part of South Sudan. After separation, they're still there in Darfur. So it's a very, very complex region. Now the conflict already started like a long time ago. Years back and 30, 40 years back, and still, the conflict between the people there started like with resources, was and 40, 50 years ago, like water resources, Nile, animals, different thing. And unfortunately things got more escalated in early 2000s, until 2013 was like more of the more of the tribes that they created their own militia or their own local armies that trying to fight and against the capital Khartoum or the government. Now, unfortunate, RSF were like more like we call like like they created like an army to protect their borders, because they are very local. The area they know, route, like we call in Arabic, like, Ahl Mecca adra bish'aba, like, but the local people there, they know exactly how to fight against each other. So the government took one of their party with them, which is basically now the RSF. They used to be called like Janjaweed.
Mhm.
So they got them to like more like specialized camp. They got them like more weapons. They trained them more to fight against the people they were trying to fight the government. So see how that started. Like, it's their own, the government fault by creating these militia or the Janjaweed first, to fight with the government against the local people there. Okay.
Mhm.
And then of course they gain more power, and because they know the area very well, better than the people in Khartoum or the capital or the government, so they were able to help the government, somehow like defeating the other tribes or the other people in the west side of Sudan. And unfortunate after that, as I was like trying to explain earlier, like that's a typical what happened in other countries when you create something and then they start to be bigger and bigger, then they're going to compete with you when they have more resources and support from other people. So it's obviously everybody know, like the war in Yemen. Obviously, some people that get to the government that we need your support to help us in Yemen war. So that's why the government, oh, you know what? We have these people we can support. We can get you more militia like we did in Sudan. We can do the same thing in Yemen. So the government, along with this militia, they went to Yemen to fight against the other party, whatever. So they got more resources. Now the militia know the international world and how they can benefit from them. Yeah, and then of course they get more support, they get more money, even like to the point, like I'm trying to explain to people, like if you are in the army, in the government army, and you want to switch to RSF officially, they pay you more money. So that how they were able to recruit more people because they're getting funded from outside now. Okay. So and unfortunately they get bigger and bigger and bigger. They get more in the business world too, because as I said earlier, they know the area very well. So they're discovering more gold in the west side.
Mhm.
Now the RSF is trying to control that even more and more. The international world, they're looking at resources in Africa. There's a fact, the gold was a major factor for them to grow even more and more. And to the point they got them at least to be like the second person in the government until 2019, and they sided with the government, against the Al-Bashir regime, and that's why they gain more power and power. Now, if you have somebody, growing up with you, and now he sees like he's part of your government now, and he has to share at least 50% what we have, and of course, the conflict has started, and now if we don't reach an agreement together how to split whatever, like Sudan, and now let's just move on and just to see who is gonna control more and more.
Anything you wanted to add to that, Khadija?
I think Dr. Abdullah covered the complex thing really
Yeah.
well. It's really hard to, get into it. There is a long history, like you said. But an important note that I think it's worth mentioning about the Janjaweed is that they're the same military group that had carried out the genocide in Darfur
Yes.
between 2003 and 2005 that led to the ethnic cleansing of like 200,000 people in the Darfur region. And so they were created by the government, and then now they're turning on the government because they're also made up of child soldiers from like Chad and people who are not all from Sudan, but also from the surrounding region. And so all they know is killing. That's what they are manufactured to do and trained to carry out. And so that is the horrifying thing about the Janjaweed. The word itself,
Yeah.
Janjaweed, is like terrible. It's like demons on horseback. And that's exactly what they are.
And I know you kind of touched on this earlier. Maybe you want to dive into a little bit more. So why is Al-Fashir strategically critical as the last government-held city in Darfur?
I think you could talk more about this specifically.
It's as I said, like it's very hard and very complex to really understand. But unfortunate, I'm as a person, I'm trying to imagine. This is not Sudan is not the first country to go through this.
Yeah.
We have it like in Yemen and Libya, and I think what like the world or whoever is supporting this, they're trying to split these countries. If you're not with me, I'm gonna cut you off. Like if you're not gonna go with my flow, that I support me with the resources and all what I need. It's a call like the modern like country taking over other country in a way that it's all based on resources. So it's I think Al-Fashir is going to be like mostly, I don't know, it's like debating between the government or the RSF, like who's gonna take more land and how we can split the country in a way like, to give me Al-Fashir, I needed more than the other people. I don't know if that makes sense, but the more I take, the more power I have, the more resources I have. So that's why, it's like we're trying to put like a border in between Sudan or split the country. Who's going to take more over?
Yeah. It was just like the last government stronghold.
Yeah.
And so in them taking this place over and taking Al-Fashir over, essentially they have really obliterated, destroyed the Sudani militia. And so they've gained a lot of resources and taken over that region as well.
So now we're going to get into a specific, event that happened. I believe it was on October 28th. I guess what evidence exists about the Saudi Maternity Hospital attack where over, 460 patients, and remember these numbers could be skewed higher or lower, and companions were killed on October 28th. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened there?
It's as Khadija mentioned, these people, they come and they're the blood in their heart. Like they're killing, to them it's just something like as if like they're drinking water, So when they come and they want to take over the village or the city, they pretty much kill everybody, destroy everything. And unfortunately, that's just what happened at the hospital. Even the patients or a companion or everybody was there. Of course, we have the satellite evidence, the report from WHO, and the people that escaped. They were able to report what happened there. And unfortunately, it's an area at least that we know what happened, but we feel bad, and it's very, very sad that this could happen in other different cities or small villages, which there is no reports. Exactly, and which is typical. Like there's another city called Bara, and now we are hearing like things happened last month that nobody talked about, nobody even knew what happened because they're trying to even destroy the evidence. Because if not a single person escaped, nobody knows what happened there. But now people are discovering more and more. So it is just very sad. Like I know, even as I said earlier, my friend or my colleague or my neighbors, when they see this and then social media and they see these videos, they come to me like really in shock. They see these videos like, how come there's people like killing an innocent people, even they're sick in the hospital, and the people are really starving to death. It's just inhuman. Like I have no idea how these people act like this.
Any 2 cents you want to add on to that one, or keep it rolling?
Keep it rolling. Yeah. It's just it's too
much. How are these organizations, I know you kind of touched on it, but how are they verifying death tolls when communication blackouts limit information flow? Like how are they making this happen?
Yeah, it's Al-Fashir because it's a big city, so there is more. Some of the journalists were able to get some reports, from the media, the satellite, the internet, the WHO, and most importantly, like evidence from the people that were able to escape to nearby city, which is called the Tawila. Now we have more support there, and people were able to get sheltered and resources at least to feel safe and get food and water resources there. So there's a different report, different resources that they're especially WHO and from the satellite images that we're able to get more evidence, and it's very, very clear and obvious.
And Khadija, maybe you could help me with this. And I know, like with Palestine, right? And a lot of people are able to know what's going on because of social media.
Hmm.
Is that also happening with the Sudanese people, or no?
Not as much, no. And it is also because, I mean, they're not able to have internet to reach the world in doing that. They're cutting off everything. I mean, there is no way to get news from on the ground. Like Dr. Abdullah said, if they're killing everybody, who's going to report on it? They can spin the story however they want. And so, unfortunately, we do not have the journalists on the ground who are able to cover this due to all of this violence that they're just wiping out everybody. So there's nobody to tell the story.
Is this one of those situations where like half the country is with RSF and half is with the military, or is just straight up everybody is like hoping that the military stands up and RSF is just a strong organization that's just taking over, or a strong group?
You know what? I think this whole thing has been painted as a civil war, but it's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm wondering, because that's what I'm reading. Is a lot of people are saying like it's a civil war.
It's not a civil war. It's these just two military groups who have found themselves in this power vacuum because of the outing of Omar al-Bashir in the 2019 revolution. They found that there is space now to come in and just cause havoc and take over control of the country. And so they're battling amongst themselves. And unfortunately, the Sudani people have been
The
victims
victims,
of all of this. And by the military groups, they're not seeing them as people. They're just seeing them as collateral damage to their end goal of taking control of the region, and just power hungry for no reason. And then they're destroying the country. So what are you going to have at the end? After you kill everybody and you destroy the country, what is the point of having that power?
And right now, if there was like, who's in control right now? Do you feel like
It's right now, especially after Al-Fashir, it's feeling like the RSF.
I think the part of you know, I believe the country is going to go through separation.
Mm-hmm.
So now the government or the military is taking over the west side more, the north side, the middle part, especially Khartoum is the capital. I feel like the west side, they're being RSF, they're getting more occupied city. They're taking over, especially now Al-Fashir, and I think they feel like they're there, and that's enough for them to take part of the country, which is mostly the west part of Sudan.
And you said majority of the,
but the majority of the country is governed by the military, by the Sudanese military.
Okay, so they're still
they're still definitely.
But who owns the area where most of the gold is at?
I mean, it's still in between both, but now mainly RSF is taking more control.
Okay, which is why these other countries are supporting RSF to 100%. Take control of those areas because of the gold that's in that area.
Correct.
So I guess this is not going to be fun to answer this question. Not that any of them were easy to answer, but I guess, can you just share with people what are some of the patterns of violence that's emerging from like survivor testimonies and eyewitness accounts? Like, what are they saying is happening on the ground?
Khadija, do you want to
go ahead? I think you have more.
It's unfortunate. It's a direct execution. There is sexual violence as well. Killing children, innocent infants, elderly, and you can see it. Even in the videos and pictures and in the media now. They're just getting people and sitting them down in the ground. Even you dig in your own grave, like they ask you to dig in more and more and more and more, and then you kind of they're making it like easy for them even just to kill you, and then you're done. You're already in the grave. Like just it's very, very sad, very sad.
I did see some of the photos and the videos, and it boiled my own blood, because we are allowing this stuff to happen, and that's what's really sad. And so. Let's just take a quick ad break right here. It could be our last one of the show. Let's go ahead and give a shout out before we start moving into the last part of this show, and you guys, giving out more information. So, Yusuf, can we please give a shout out to the Family Doc? Let's give a shout out to the Family Doc, and then we'll move into the last part of the show. The Family Doc. Founded in 2021, the Family Doc Clinic and Urgent Care provides comprehensive primary and urgent care services with a patient-centered approach. Their competitive advantage lies in delivering high-quality, flexible care with same-day appointments and walk-in options. So if you twisted your ankle while playing basketball, go to the Family Doc. Your baby has got a cold and you have no scheduled appointment? Go to the Family Doc. With 3 locations in Dearborn Heights, Hamtramck, and Allen Park, the Family Doc team can take care of you anywhere and anytime. So make sure you stop by the Family Doc, where they strive to make healthcare seamless, stress-free, and accessible when patients require it the most. So, sorry. Dr. Yusuf. Yeah, we're good now. All right, Dr. Abdullah, you were mentioning that you know Dr. Ali from the Family Doc?
Of course. Yeah, we work together at Wayne Hospital, Cornwall. Now, a great guy, a beautiful human being. I love him as a doctor, as a friend. MashaAllah, good person. So I really wish him all the best and good luck. And thank you for all what you do. To your patients, to your neighbor, to your family, to the community, overall. So we appreciate you very much.
Yeah, he does a great job, man, and always giving back to the community. We appreciate him.
MashaAllah.
So this is your chance now to rip into these countries. I'm gonna let you go, Khadija, because I know you've been worried. You wait for this moment. I need you to say what you have to say, Khadija, because I'm tired of people getting involved where they don't need to be involved. But how do these external actors, especially the UAE, what are they doing?
What are they not doing? It's unfortunate because it's your own, brothers and sisters, your own Muslim brothers and sisters. So it's not like an enemy that it's outside of us that we can point to. When it's your own people, it's a different sense of betrayal that comes with that. And so we have, the UAE, we have Egypt, we have Saudi Arabia, we have even the United States always digging its hand in all of these things. And so it's like, why? You know what I mean? It's very disappointing. And we see that there's just our own brothers and sisters always selling us out, never supporting each other, and causing all of this destruction amongst ourselves. And so it makes me very resentful of just the Arab region and of me saying that I'm Arab. I really do not enjoy saying I'm Arab at all. You know what I mean? Because I don't see that we're Arab enough for these people, and we're not, worthy of them not killing us. And so, and we see that it's when it's Black bodies, when it's Black people, and it's African countries, nobody cares. It's just, like I said, collateral damage that we just have to take over the resources. It matters more than those human lives. And so, yeah, it's like, take your hands off of Sudan, mind your own business, go create your own resources. Do not loot and steal from us our resources. And, but, when you have money, you can do that. And money is worth more than human lives.
I was going to ask you, do you think that they view money worth more than human lives? And
Absolutely.
You just answer that question. I think their actions answer that question. I don't know if you want to add on to anything else to that.
I think, it's overall, I think the area, went through a lot, the Middle East, the Arab countries, the revolution after that, all these countries and the changing, fast, happening in the area. And I do believe, I think somebody wrote an article, I think 20 or 30 years ago about, who is going to be controlling all this resources, especially around the Red Sea. Mm-hmm. And all the way to UAE or the Gulf area, up to Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Iran. This is a very complex region. And you go up to, Egypt area, of course, the Mediterranean area. So all this is very strategic to the world, all this, Middle East surrounding area. And you can see, all, through the Yemen, there is no stability. Somalia, there is no stability. Djibouti. You go all in Ethiopia, Eritrea's or all this conflict in this area. And then of course, the water war, what do you call it, like now, between Ethiopia and Egypt, controlling the resources from the Nile as well, is very, very complex area. And then going to Sudan and again to the middle part of Africa, Chad, Central Africa, even South Sudan, all this area, very, very rich area with a lot of resources, especially water. There is a new war, is a water resource, especially the Nile. So, the strategic area again to the Red Sea up, the west side of Sudan, the east side of Sudan is called like Port Sudan, which is now the new government or the new capital for Sudan, kind of, for now, but at least, close to Saudi Arabia, close to Egypt, close to the area in the Middle East, was what happening in Palestine and Jordan, all this area, very, very critical to the world. Now, controlling who's governing this country is very important. So it's not only just gold and resources, but who's going to be there, and we can control and just go with whatever we want to do in this area. I think that's the main goal. Like, I'm gonna take all over these areas and make sure that we are all. So UAE is involved in all this conflicts, what happening all this region, and including, of course, Libya. So it's just everybody wants to control this, the Red Sea, as Khadija mentioned, Iran is involved, Turkey is involved, Russia is involved, America is involved. So it is very, very, very complicated. Very.
So it's very complicated, and all these countries are involved. So why does this crisis receive minimal international media coverage compared to conflicts like, for instance, Ukraine? And I mean, now finally people are starting to talk about even what's going on in Palestine. At least that's on the forefront as well. But why is this conflict receiving minimal mainstream media, international media attention?
Khadija.
I mean, I think we know the answer.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know why you're asking. You just want me to say it.
I want people to hear it, and it doesn't have to come from me.
I mean, look, like Dr. Abdullah, really outlined the complexity of the situation. And when it comes to politics and the politics around the region, yes, that is a complex situation. But the humanitarian aspect is not complex at all. It's very straightforward that people are getting killed, massacred. Close to like 200,000 people or even more from what we just know have been killed in these past couple of years, and 12 million people displaced. And it's just like, it doesn't require a genius to know that this is a crisis. And it is the worst humanitarian crisis happening in the world right now. But of course, it's just not a story that sells when it's, like I said, Black people, specifically Africans. It is not a story that sells to the media. And it is not something that is worthy of sharing when it's happening to those people over there. And so, of course, that's the reason. That is the most obvious reason. And so of course, I'm not surprised. I'm just deeply disappointed. I even have friends who have organized protests around the country that have been attended by very few people. Like, it's bare. Nobody's showing up for Sudan. And it's just, like I said, a sense of betrayal and a deep hurt and a pain that comes with that your people don't matter to the world.
I'm sorry to hear that, by the way, Khadija. I mean, it's one of those saddest things. I don't know, Dr. Abdullah, if you want to add on to that or anything you want to mention.
I think Khadija covered pretty much most. I mean, it's again, like, people will, be hard for them even to imagine that our own people is killing, their own people. So it's even very difficult for them even to understand. There's still some light and some hope. Of course, with the grace of God, alhamdulillah. I mean, there's, people, still there's people, few people supporting, few people, they know about the issue and trying to help, but it's not as we expect, unfortunate. The need is huge. And I think we need more awareness, and we need more, even just dua from, brothers and Muslims around the country or around the world. Even just simple dua or simple, support that will help a lot.
And I just think it's unacceptable, to be honest with you, because it's something that's been going on forever. I'm sure your parents will tell you the same stories that you're saying to this day. And unfortunately, the way I look at it is, you brought your son here, right? It's probably the same story that you're going to tell him as he gets older. And it's one of those stories that this is why I wanted to do something about it, because I can't believe it, and it's unfortunate, and I'm sorry. And so I know you mentioned the 12 million displaced people by this conflict. What's the update on those people? Where are they at? And what are their futures hold? They might not come back to a home that's already been, terrorized and massacred and bombed, and they might not even have a home anymore if they ever get a chance to come back to it. So what is their status with the 12 million people who've been displaced?
I think there's about 3 to 4 millions that were able to cross the borders, going to, Egypt or, Libya or other countries around. People were able to, if they have any support from outside, they can go to the Gulf area or even to America or other countries. But it's more devastating that there are people there, they have no resources or no support to leave. So they had to go to a different camp or different displaced locations for shelters. Obviously they're in a huge needs of simple basics, life. They cannot even get a clean water like this, so simple medicine we cannot get, simple just a food, even when now is winter is coming, they need clothes, they need safe place to live in at, and then they need at least simple medication. Disease or death from disease not going to stop. People get sick too, and unfortunately there's a lot of even psychological support needed. People going through post-traumatic disorder and severe depression and there's different things. So, yeah.
You want to maybe add on to anything you want to say?
No, I think Dr. Abdulla covered it.
So I know you mentioned about some of the needs and the necessities that those people need. But the question is, what can people do to help if they want to help? What can they do?
Yeah, I think
or how can they help, I guess?
I mean, Dr. Abdullah, he's a representative of SAPA, the Sudanese American Physicians Association. So that is a really wonderful resource and an organization that's still able to get on the ground and be able to help people by providing medical supplies, any sort of resources to assist people who are displaced. So SAPA for sure is a trusted source to donate to. But like Dr. Abdullah mentioned earlier, as simple as du'as, raise your hands and make du'a for the people of Sudan. Remember them in your advocacy, in your prayers, in simply reposting stories, just making your own network aware of what's going on in Sudan. And all we can make is du'a, because I feel like right now I feel very, very helpless, and that is the best thing to do, and to raise as much awareness as I can in my own circles and networks.
Yeah. Thank you, Khadija, for mentioning this. There's different organization, of course, working there, but we're really in a very strong relation and collaboration with the UN, with the WHO. So we're well organized. We're well organized at working in the ground as SABA. There is another organization, a Sudanese organization also called Sadaqat as well, as they're well known in the country. So it's basically it's the Sudanese American Physician Association. They were all based in membership. We're all physicians. We don't take any administration fee. All your donation, because people, they do ask me when we do some fundraising or awareness or talk about Sudan, how we can donate or how we can help, and they do ask important question like how much we take as an administration fee, because we know some other organization, they do take percentage, but we are, as a physician, we support our own organization. We of course contribute ourselves, and all the administration, we are all volunteered in the board and then the people in the ground. So all your donations, even sadaqat or even your zakah is 100% will go directly to the people that are really in need. We've been doing this for almost like now 5-6 years. And if you visit our website, we will share that with you, or the link for donation. If you want, you can go into the website. You're going to be, a lot of people, even my colleague, even non-American, or non-Arab or non-Muslim people, when they go to the website and see, that the work that we do in the ground, they're really very, very impressed with what we do. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So do you guys got people over there too?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Even now with the displaced people from Al-Fashir, Alhamdulillah, we're able to support. Now they're in a city called Tawila. It's a safe area, but Alhamdulillah, we were able to get them, shelter, and food and water. So whatever you donate right now from the crisis to Al-Fashir right now, the people that get displaced, like 2 weeks ago, if you donate right now, it's going to reach them immediately in the ground, 100%. So Alhamdulillah, we were able to work, through this, crisis, and we're able to support the people there as they need to.
Alhamdulillah. As you guys prepare your final word and final comments, I'm just going to go over everything one last time. And anything you guys want to mention, please feel free to mention. So again, this was season 5, episode 12 of Motivate Me 313. The title was Sudan's Hidden Horror, the RSF Massacre in Al-Fashir. We had Dr. Abdullah and Khadija on the show. You can watch this full episode on our YouTube, Apple, and Spotify under Oz Media. You can see clips of this episode on our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under Oz Media. And you can find all those platforms on our website at ozmedia313.com. One last time is a shout out to the sponsors: Juice Box, Holy Bowly, Wingfellas, Bates and Mocha, Chill Box, Melik Kebab, Hanley International Academy, The Family Doc, GE Preparatory Academy, and Royal Kebab. We appreciate them and their support. Final words, final comments, anything you would like to add, or maybe I forgot to even ask about?
No, thank you so much for taking the time to really highlight what's going on in Sudan. And really, I deeply appreciate your advocacy. It means a lot. And so last words, just remember Sudan. It's as simple as just Googling what's happening. Mm-hmm. Do your part. Just remember that if something is happening to other people that you think is so far away from you, it is only a matter of time that it could be happening to you as well. So do your part. Google what's happening. Follow Instagrams of Sudani advocates, and support Saba.
Thank you. And Dr. Abdullah, any final words and final comments?
Alhamdulillah, thank you for the opportunity, Nana. And inshallah, I will ask in the future for another event. And so inshallah, we can get people more update about what happened in Sudan, and we can continue to, raise awareness about Sudan. Hopefully we update people with, inshallah, with good news, inshallah, in the future. We hope, alhamdulillah, whatever happened, and, keep us in your dua. But again, I just want to, tell people, like, donate and donate generously. If you think like $1 can feed the whole family for the whole day, you cannot even imagine. Like, $1 makes a huge difference. So don't be shy. Don't feel like it is nothing. Simple, $1, $5, $10, 20 more, whatever you want to contribute and support, that means a lot to the people in Sudan. And, may Allah reward all of you. And Jazakumullah khairan.
Thank you. I mean, so listen, I'm just going to close out by saying this before we shut down the show. Is Khadija brought up a great point. You think this stuff doesn't affect you. When you really dive deep into what the Ummah really means, is we are all together no matter what, and we're supposed to be together, and we're binded together, not just off of words or who we are as a background, but even spiritually and everything else. And so when you see a part of the country going through what they're going through right now in Sudan, you think that doesn't affect you, but it affects you more than you actually know. Mm-hmm. And the reason why, it could be as simple as the reason why something's not going right in your life could be because of what's going on in this other country that you are paying no attention to and giving it no time, or not even at least raising awareness. And you could be that person with 1 million followers, and you don't even want to share something as simple that can help a link to donate money. Like, don't think that stuff doesn't come back around, because we're all connected. Absolutely. As we're supposed to be. And especially in the most important eyes, which is in Allah's eyes. So yes, you can lie to yourself and enjoy your life and continue doing what you're doing and not caring about what's going on at different parts in the world. But just know that we are all linked, whether you like it or not. And rather if it's going to happen now or in the future or whatever it may be, what comes around goes back around. So I just want you to know that. Thank you both,
Beautiful
Khadija.
said. Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Abdullah, for
You're
coming on
welcome.
the show.
Welcome.
We appreciate you guys. And if there's anything that you guys ever need, we are here to support and help.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time, inshallah.
Inshallah.